coming to you again, bringing you some breaking news, right? So the breaking news right now is a lot of federal workers have two things going on. First off, they're trying to take away their negotiating, i.e. union, away from them. That way it's easier to fire them. They're also trying to do what's called suitability. So where they can like get rid of you based on some kind of suitability stuff. It takes them about 5 days. They could quickly get rid of you. Now, underlaying all this stuff is this signal chat stuff. Obviously, the signal chat is a serious issue, and from my perspective, there needs to be some kind of consequence, right? If you already think that that signal chat stuff is much to do about nothing, that's on you. But I think it's very serious that something like that is happening, right? And people don't know what to do. So just let me know what your thoughts are in terms of the signal chat and the comment section on this live. Well, the other thing I wanted to tell you is that I appreciate all the hard work and efforts is going into people like getting live, waking up early and trying to understand what's going on. So from that perspective, I thank you for joining my lives and continue to support me. Another way you can support me is to join the channel. When you join the Folk Reskilling HQ channel here on YouTube, I'll make sure to give you a shout out whenever there's a live, like on the chat, right? Not only that, I'm also going to make sure I present to you some of the exclusive merch that we have going. Now, trust me, I've been curating a lot of merch for your enjoyment. Okay, I know it's spring right now here in the States. People are already going through a lot of heartache in terms of not knowing exactly what's going to happen in terms of their jobs. For the folks that already get jobs, they're holding tight to their jobs because let me tell you, it's not easy to get a job these days. And that's why right now in the comments, you should tell me exactly where you are. If you're looking for a job, if you found a job, if the job market has been difficult for you, let us know exactly how you're able to navigate this whole maze, because that's what it is. It's a maze. A lot of people have been telling me that, hey, this signal chat is just a way for folks to basically make it where you're thinking this is what's going on, but in actuality there's something else that's going on. In other words, they're getting ready to lay off a bunch of people. And oh, by the way, talking about layoffs, the month of April is going to be something that you've never seen before. Why do I say that? That's when these tariffs are going to hit, right? Once these tariffs hit, the price of goods are going to go off the roof. Okay, for example, I'll take the cars, like this beautiful car that I'm driving right now. There's a high performance BMW M4 competition. Okay, you're probably not going to be able to get this car anymore because it'll be out of reach. More likely than not, it's going to be marked up $50,000 up. I'm talking for the used version like this. I remember posting this stuff on Facebook Marketplace and people were just talking shit to me. Well, guess what? You cannot get this car with this spec right now starting next month. Next month is not that far either. It's just a few days from now. Okay, so what does that portend? What does that portend for people that are looking to maybe buy luxury goods? You may not be able to afford luxury goods. I'm sorry. I'm talking even the used versions like this one that I'm driving right now. You may not be able to afford it. So what does that also mean if you're looking for work? Companies may now have the wherewithal to just start firing people and passing the cost to consumers. You know what I mean? So it'll be like, well, and they're very good at doing it, but like, well, due to the tariffs, we're unable to fulfill our previously forecasted numbers. And because we're able to fulfill those previously forecasted numbers, we'll have to let people go. Okay? And that becomes savings to them because they have to find a way to balance the budget, balance the books. And also in terms of the people that are giving them money to stay in business, i.e. if you're a public company, the shareholders, okay? And then if you're a small business like me, I rely on you people watching these lives, and I rely on you, and I thank you for watching this live. In fact, I would really appreciate it if you could join the channel, okay? Check out information in the description to join the channel. So, we've covered what I think is going on. Now, how can you position yourself for success going forward? The best way to position yourself for success going forward, irrespective of what the economic condition is going to look like, is for you to continuously learn. or continuous learner. If you're a continuous learner, you're never gonna go out of business. You're never gonna run out of opportunities. So that's why I encourage you guys to be, and girls, to be continuous learners. Because in this day and age, things are gonna change. It's a lot of risks. Okay, the stuff that's going on right now, where a lot of people don't agree with, is called political risk. So now you got political risk. Okay, overlay that with business risk. And what do I mean by business risk? It's hard to be in business. Consumers are flaky. Now, to keep consumers, you have to have what I call impeccable customer service, impeccable product. Okay, and you have to deliver that as promised. You can't just say, well, I'm gonna give you this promise. It's gonna be sales based. Well, sometimes these sales don't really, hit the targets that companies are looking for. Okay, I mean, look at the big name companies that have gone out of business. Look at the big name companies that are like experiencing pressures right now. Okay, if somebody told you that maybe 5 years ago that you were gonna see this level of economic calamity, would you believe it? Okay, if they told you that. I know I'm still trying to like wrap my head around some of the stuff that I'm watching on the news, and I'm trying to bring you guys some of these lives. Oh, do me a quick favor. If you are currently watching this live, take 5 seconds and hit the thumbs up button, because I want more people to join this conversation. All right? I see a lot of people already watching it. Thank you for tuning into my live. I have more value that I'm going to be dropping on this live right now. Okay, again, remember, this is the last Saturday of the month. And oh, by the way, in a few days, it'll be April. And that's when all these tariffs are going to hit. These tariffs are going to hit, and it's going to make the price of goods go off the roof. Off the roof. Okay? I put together some books that's going to help you, and maybe somebody you know that's going to be impacted by some of this stuff that I'm talking about. And you can find the links to those books in the description below. While you're looking at those books and you're sharing this live, I'm going to need you to type number 1 if you feel like you are motivated enough to learn. Because again, this is the key to it. You got to be motivated enough to learn. In other words, if I'm giving you some value, you got to be able to literally go get a piece of pen and paper and start deciphering to what extent any of the information that I'm providing may be useful to you. Okay? Yeah. And if it's useful to you, to what extent are you going to then deploy what you're learning? I keep saying this and people don't listen to me, okay? I come on live and I'm going to give you value. And when I give you value, my expectation is that you are doing something with the value and the information that I'm giving you. That begins with clicking the links below, taking full advantage of those books that I'm telling you about that have been curated, asking questions, joining the channel. These are simple things to do. You're already up. Okay? So do that for yourself. And also, obviously, if you help my channel, I really appreciate it. Because again, remember, I'm a small business. I'm not a big business, and I rely on captive audience to listen to what I'm talking about and do good for themselves. Okay? Again, remember, hit the like button. And if you have a comment related to any one of the live topics that I'm talking about, which means I'm talking about, the signal chat, what does that mean for the way things are going to be operating? Okay? Or for that matter, if you're a federal worker and you think for a second that your job is safe, what are your concerns, right? Or for that matter, if you're in one of these tech companies, because they're laying off too, these tech companies, I've seen and I've heard stories about people saying, hey, I thought my job was safe because I was hired for a new team, a new project, and I didn't know what was going to happen. Okay? And then talking about teams and projects, you guys already kind of know what's going on with Tesla right now, right? Okay? That's BS. What is BS, MAGA? MAGA 2025. Ain't nothing BS. I'm telling you the truth. And if you're talking about it's BS, have you held yourself accountable for what's going on right now? Have you held yourself accountable for Signal Chat? Have you called your congressperson and yelled and said, this is not what we voted for. We want our country to be safe. Have you done that? If you haven't done that, that's the big bullshit. Okay, buddy? And you have every right to be MAGA 2025. That's yours. But think about what it's doing to our country right now. All right? That's never been done before, what they did. So think about it. Okay, hi friend. Nima Ima. Appreciate that. Dude, he's saving taxpayers money. He is? Well, tell me how much George has saved taxpayers that came back to your pocket. Remember, they said they were gonna give you back this money. Heck, it's going on 2 months. What they call it? They call it Doge stimulus. Oh my God, Doge stimulus. And in fact, I heard him yesterday. Was it yesterday or the day before? It was a couple of days ago. He was on Fox News, and they were asking him all kinds of questions about, hey man, I think he had his team behind him, the Doge folks. Like, hey man, what's really going on with this Doge stuff? Let me get this out of the way. And what are you trying to save? I think the last number that I heard him say, he said it was like $1 trillion by May. It's gonna save millions of dollars, and they are, bro, it doesn't work overnight. Yeah, I hear you, my brother. MAGA 2025, I hear you. Doesn't work overnight. But the question I have though is, at what expense? Riddle me this: is the Social Security Administration something you want to F with? Somebody's paycheck? Come on now. Come on now. I know the old databases and stuff like that, but are you telling me for a fact that changing the database logic is not going to impact people's check? Okay, how long is it going to take them then to say, hey, well, we made a mistake, here's the money? It takes them a long time to correct stuff. So now I'm not saying that they shouldn't do some audits, okay, to make sure the wrong people are not getting the wrong money. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's probably not a good idea to do it as fast as they're doing it. They just have to have a long-term plan. It's got to be strategic. And if you're ever thinking about doing things strategically, you are going to be in a better position than just doing something like, almost feels like a knee-jerk reaction, if you get what I mean, right? So I'm all for savings, but not at the expense of somebody's grandma not getting the check, somebody's grandpa not getting the check, you know, a beneficiary not getting the check. This is what I'm talking about. And this is how serious this can get. Couple that with the fact that folks cannot afford eggs anymore. Have you been to the store lately? You're lucky if you can see eggs, let alone buy them. Okay? So I understand exactly what you're saying, MAGA 2025, but I think it has to be done in a more responsible fashion, in a more responsible way, a more way that shows that you care about people, you care about the American taxpayer. Yes, you do. But remember, some of the MAGA voters now are feeling the pain, and you go to some of these congressional town halls, and you can see them just going off on their Congress people, going off on the senators, not understanding why what they thought was going to be just those other folks is now impacting their pocketbooks. Okay? So that's what I'm talking about. Because again, I'm not saying don't go ahead and do this thing. I'm saying do it in a responsible fashion. Do it in a responsible fashion that's going to help people understand. Excuse me, I had to freaking catch a yellow light. All right, so I understand exactly what you guys are talking about, and I'm all for savings, and I'm all for getting rid of fraud in the system. Okay, but now look at the situation that the federal workers have to deal with. These are people that serve. Make no mistake about it. A large percentage of federal workers are veterans, which means they serve in the United States military. Okay? They're losing their jobs, folks. What kind of car am I driving? This is a BMW M4 competition. To me, this is the best car ever made. I don't care what anybody says. All right? The best car. When I say the best car, performance overlaid with price. Right. And there's a lot of cars out there that profess to be great cars or not compared to this car. And I haven't done anything to it. It's all stock. I don't need to do anything to it. And when I go to showrooms and I look at other cars, I'm like, yeah, I'm glad I got this car when I did. And I spec'd it. It built directly for me in Germany and shipped. This was during COVID when things were hard. So by the time I received this car, I was like, yep, I'm glad I built it the way I did. And talking about cars, do you know that these tariffs are going to drastically increase the price of cars? I think I kind of touched on this a little bit when I started the live. I'm probably not going to be able to afford a car like this anymore. I'm talking like brand new. Are you kidding me? This is probably going to cost like $250,000 if I want to get a brand new version for next year. Probably not going to be able to afford it. So I'm blessed that I got this when I did. But if you're looking for a car right now and you don't know what to do, I would encourage you to possibly start looking at the prices of the cars. Okay? And obviously, cars can be just luxury items, right? Or they can be utility. You know, and I'm talking, if you were to go to a car lot today and look at the price for a regular used, say, a Hyundai or a Kia, you're probably going to be surprised how much it is. Okay? You're probably going to be surprised. So the affordability of cars these days, coupled with the fact that people are saying, hey, come back to work. Everybody come back to work. Well, if they can buy eggs, they can afford cars, do you think they can actually be able to go to work in person? If I'm making sense, type a yes in the chat real quick for me. So what does that mean then? Does that mean this come back to work, directive, because that's what it is, does that mean it's a little bit too harsh? Does that mean it's something that possibly may not be able to be realized by the companies that are pushing this? I don't know. That's why I need your opinion. Okay? Are companies going to be in a situation where they're going to have to reverse course? Possibly due to the fact that they're not getting enough people? Or are people like you going to say, you know what? I am sick and tired of working for people. I'm sick and tired of working for companies that don't appreciate me. They don't appreciate me because each time I put in 110%, they only give me 5%. They only give me 5% because I'm not valued. They don't understand what my goals are. They don't understand what that could mean in the short to long term. They don't understand that, and they don't care. If you're in that situation, now's probably the time to reevaluate your options. Reevaluate your options, because I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be the same atmospherics that we've had the last 2 months. Things are going to get harder. Yes, the president said this is going to be freedom for Americans started in April, because we've been taken so much advantage of by these countries. So these tariffs is going to bring money back in the country. But to what extent are you going to get a piece of the pie? Because it seems like right now, the oligarchs and the millionaires and the billionaires are positioned to take full advantage of what some are calling the greatest wealth transfer of a lifetime. A generational event that only a few are going to know how to take full advantage of. Okay? So, I've been on live right now, going on about 20 minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get to a stopping point. But before I do, I will ask you to join my channel. If you're getting value from our conversation and you would like to get exclusive, continuous updates, being a member of my channel is going to make sure you get a shout out during my lives. That's number one. Secondly, I'm going to curate some merch. Oh, I forgot to mention that. The links to some of my merch, hey MAGA 2025, there's some merch that you're gonna like. The link to that merch is in the description below. Get it. Okay? Celebrate the freedom that you're enjoying and celebrate some of the actions that you support. Let's face it. Okay? And I keep talking, again, I'm not meaning to be political. I keep talking about the fact that, yes, a lot of changes, a lot of decisive action have been made the last 2 months compared to the last 4 years. The question I have for you, federal workers, is, are you going to make the same kind of decisive action? Or are you going to take those actions for yourself? And if you're not a federal worker or you don't know a veteran, and you don't have any clue about what we're talking about, when's the last time you've made a decisive action for yourself? Okay? I invite you to do that. You're not doing it for me, you're doing it for yourself. So, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get off this road. I'm going to go get on the cruising. I may share some of the scenery with you guys, because I like sharing good updates, and you know, I happen to live in a good environment, a good stage. It's a lot of beautiful scenery here, but I'm always taking action. I'm always trying to see who can I help. Who here need? You know, I'm not gonna get off here because this car's not driving right. All right, here we go. This is why I love this car, folks. You can make a split-second decision and change what you're doing, but you have to have a car that's powerful enough to do that for you. Saturday morning drives, man. You know what surprises me sometimes is the amount of people that are on the roads. Don't matter what time of day it is. There's just people out there. I mean, I'm talking about like trucks and stuff. I don't expect to see them this early, but they're out there trying to make money. So you have to know exactly what you're doing, how to navigate. And some of these cars want to compete with a car that they don't know nothing about. All right, I'm gonna do some maneuvers real quick. Oh my God, it's such an enjoyment and pleasure to drive a car like this. If you have any question about cars, go ahead and drop them in the chat. I'm just talking about performance cars, not just any car. All right. All right, so I got off topic a little bit, but I'm gonna find a nice place to get off the freeway so I can share some of the scenery I was talking about. You may actually see a little bit of the sunrise. I think it's 7:39. I'm already seeing the sun over there, but there's a couple of beautiful sunrises that I've been able to share the last couple of weeks. All right, they've been pretty good. All right, this guy doesn't want to get off the way, or maybe he's finally got it. Must be. Is it legal to do this kind of stuff? If you have a powerful car, yeah, it is. Wow. Remember when I told you, somebody asked me what kind of car this was, and I told you what it was? And I told you that I may not be able to afford a car like this, and I go to showrooms all the time, and what I see in the showrooms don't look like anything. This is why. Because what I'm doing right now, you have to have the right kind of car to do. You have to have the right kind of car that you can call on power, and it's going to be able to do this kind of stuff. All right? That's why I think this 2022 BMW M4 competition that was packed by more during the COVID era, I had to wait. What is this guy doing? I'm just going to wait. I had to wait, I think it was like 6 months for it to get delivered. But when I saw it, I'm like, oh my God, right? It's still yeah, you lost. Some Audi was trying to like compete with me. I kicked his butt. You lost. But anyway, yeah, Audis they're cool, but they don't compare to BMWs. I'm sorry. They don't call them the ultimate driving machine for nothing. Anyway, that was a lot of fun. You know, Saturdays I go out and I do lives and I enjoy my vehicle. I didn't pay for them to sit in the damn garage. All right. So I'm almost where I'm gonna go through the scenery I was telling you folks about. I'm gonna share the scenery with you because I think I owe it to you to give you some enjoyment. All right, I owe it to you to say, hey, come with me and we're gonna share a nice scenery and we can have a conversation about possibly what you're thinking about doing, you know, possibly figuring out how you're gonna weather the economy, because I'm telling you, starting next month, oh my God, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad for a couple of reasons. I wonder if I should just go wash this car right now. Let me just do that. Yeah, let me wash the car. While we're doing that, we're gonna continue the conversation, and I'm probably gonna take do some pages from my book. All right, and that's gonna help you guys realize exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this car washed. I'm gonna sit down for a little bit, and we're gonna have a good conversation. Dude, man, I don't have to be that close. All right. Okay, so that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna wash this car. I'm gonna go sit there while I'm washing it, and we're gonna have a conversation. And I'm gonna talk to you about this book. Okay, I'm literally gonna talk to you about this book, so you're gonna understand exactly what I'm talking about. All right, and that's the book I wrote. I wrote this book to help folks like you. And I'll tell you exactly why it's important in this day and age. I'm gonna leave the key for him. To be well-rounded. Hey, if you're a federal worker, if you got a job, if you're looking for MAGA to kind of help with things, this is for you. Okay, I like to be honest with folks, and I like to be transparent, right? And right now, it's probably the best time to do that. All right.
You want to do the inside and out today?
Yep, I want to do the inside and out.
They all do the vacuum windows.
I'm gonna go with today. I'm gonna go with the titanium.
Alrighty.
And pay close attention to the wheels. I need those little cleans. If I'm going with titanium, I don't need to see dust.
Okay.
All right.
Do you know about our unlimited? You're paying.
No. Just give me that one time. I'll be good for now.
$44.72.
That is correct. All right.
Did you want to leave a tip on the car for the guys?
Yeah, at least $5. Yep.
Did you want air freshener?
Yep, I want new car.
And then just leave the key. You can go.
I also need a receipt. Yep, keys in here. I need a receipt also if you could.
There you go.
All right, appreciate you.
Have a good one.
You too. All right, folks. So I'm gonna get out of this car. I'm gonna take this phone with me, and we are gonna talk about my book. We're gonna talk about my book. And we're going to talk about why it's important in this day and age for you to be multi-skilled and be ready for whatever. And it's not just, you may not even see this book yet. I'm going to put the link to this particular book. Oh, it's on Amazon. I forgot to mention this. Go to Amazon, look at it. The Fork in the Road. A reskilling guide for laid off people. All right? You don't have to be laid off to learn some of this stuff I'm going to tell you. Okay. So I'm going to take this stuff and we're going to talk. Okay? You're going to follow me. We're going to talk. All right, here we go. Not sure exactly where you guys are logging in from, but what I've learned the past 2 months, because again, this has been going on fast and furious. It's been going on fast in terms of the changes that are happening, but people are not ready for these changes. And I don't blame them if they're not ready. I mean, it's not their fault that they're not ready, but at the end of the day, I think you have to be ready. Okay, you have to be ready. All right, so fork in the road. What exactly is it? If you guys remember, there was an email that was sent out to federal workers. This email gave them an option. It said, hey, look, if you resign, we are gonna pay you for the next 8 months. In other words, you can go get another job, you can take vacations, you can decide not to do nothing, you can be a bum, you can go to the beach every day, but you're still gonna get paid. Okay, now think about that for a second. You were gonna get paid. So people call it a buyout, but I don't know what a buyout is, but they said you were gonna get paid. And you had until February 7th to take the fork. There were some legal actions that happened, legal challenges by some unions. So at one juncture, that fork was delayed. They put a stop to it, right? But then it was found to be legal. It was found to be legal. What that meant then was taking the fork was completely legal. Don't let nobody tell you that the fork is illegal. Then it got extended to the 10th of February. That was the deadline that you had to accept it, right? And when it closed, it was never to be reopened. So it closed, and people took the fork. So then what that meant was, well, if you wanted to go get reskilled, that was a good opportunity to get reskilled. So this fork in the road that you see right there is what happened. So while this was happening, I said, hey, what if I came up with a book to help people? Okay? What if I came up with a book? And that's what this book is. So I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna show you some of it. It's gonna help you do that. It's very simple book. Okay, so navigate uncertainty, a guide for federal workers. It could be for anybody. Okay? But first you gotta understand the current landscape. What exactly is happening? You gotta understand the current landscape. Then you have to assess your skill and your interest. For example, remember when I told you somebody wanted to take a vacation? Say you took the fork and you wanted to go on a vacation. You're like, you know what? I don't ever want to work anymore. I'm just gonna take a trip to Tahiti, be a beach bum. That's your interest. You like to travel. That's an example, right? Then after you assess your skill, you're gonna do what's called the financial planning for transition. If you guys have retired from something before, or if you used to be in the military, they actually give you a transition program that helps you transition, right? So that's a chapter there. Then I put together some resources that you can use, right? One resource is figuring out how to be an entrepreneur, for example, you can create a book just like this. Okay, you can create a fork book. All right, I can teach you how to do that. Additionally, you may have skills that you don't know you have. So when you do that skills inventory, it's going to give you the opportunity to then possibly become a consultant. What do I mean by being a consultant? You see how I'm talking to you? I'm consulting, I'm giving you the free stuff, but you can actually package your knowledge and your skill and be able to kind of help somebody else out. Okay, we're all gifted. You're all gifted. I'm gifted. It's a lot of people that are gifted, but they don't understand the gift that they have, right? They think somebody else is responsible, but they don't have to like pitch in. So we live in a global village. The true sense of it. You see the impact of these tariffs? That's how interconnected the globe is. And actions here impacts an action there, an action there impacts an action there. So we all have to be cognizant of the fact that it's a connected globe, interconnected, where actions matter. Having said that though, do you understand how to take advantage of opportunities in the midst of chaos? That's something you can learn. That's what we're doing right now. It's a lot of chaos, it's a lot of uncertainty, but within the chaos and uncertainty comes opportunities. Opportunities to level up with people to your left and right. Opportunities to say, hey, I'm not gonna continue to be this person that people think are worse than they really are. I'm not gonna continue to be the reason why things not working out in my community. I'm not gonna be the reason why when I go out, I wanna blame somebody for my faults. That's not gonna be me. I'm gonna continue to be positive. I'm gonna continue to see how I can help my neighbor. I'm gonna continue to be that good person, the good community person, the good person that takes advantage of opportunities and shares those opportunities with people. So, what are the next steps? What I would like you to do right now is comment yes in the chat. Do me that favor. Give me a like, comment yes in the chat, and let me know if you are interested in getting coaching, because I'm gonna coach you. And thank you. I'm gonna coach you and I'm gonna tell you exactly what I think you've been missing. This Fork in the Road book, I'm gonna leave a link in the description so you can grab this book ASAP. Not just grab it, but see what you can do with it. Okay? When you do that, you'll be that best neighbor. You'll be that interconnected society that can do better. You don't need to take a trip to Greenland to see that the problems in Greenland may be useful to understand in the United States, in South Africa, in Ghana, in Nigeria, in Hawaii, in Chile, in Japan, in Korea. It's an interconnected society, and you are part of it. And you can do good by helping the person to your left and right. You can do good by understanding what it is to contribute. Okay? So I appreciate you guys hanging with me. This was a good 40-minute. If you have questions, go ahead and type it in the chat. I'll be monitoring the questions. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get off this and I'm going to put the link to this book, The Fork in the Road. I explain exactly what it is. A reskilling guide for laid off people. The Fork in the Road. Thank you for watching. Consider joining my channel and I'll be chatting with you.